Hello, Cancer. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Chakra Wisdom Tarot by Tori Hartman. This artwork by Katrina Sokolova, which is under the word tarot, if you're interested. Websites, ToriHartman.com and WatkinsPublishing.com. If you want a freeze frame there, if that information is useful to you, feel free to enjoy it. Supportive Oracle Cards, Magical Spell Cards by Lucy Cavendish. Illustrated by Jesse Reish. It's a 2002 deck. I didn't see any websites on it. Cool, cool. Good, good. Joy, joy. Okay, what do we have for Cancer? Yeah. Hermit's at the bottom here. I'm just trying to be sure. So let's just take a little slower. Alright, you know what I'm really getting? It's time for a change. But I don't think you're interested in that right now. But the longer you delay the change, the more somebody else benefits, and you seem to be the one who suffers. There's an ending that's supposed to happen here. The Death card is here waiting. I have a feeling for a lot of you, and the subject matter may change. It could be a relationship, it could be a work situation. For some of you, I feel like there's a situation where you're taking care of something, or you're doing somebody else's task or something like that. You're doing something that somebody else should be doing it, but you're doing it. That's the short of it. Something somebody else should be doing, but you're doing it. There's something that's supposed to end. It could be a relationship for some of you. And I feel like you know immediately if that's true or not. If you're like, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, it's probably not this reading, just to be fair. Because I feel like this is really strong. Kind of like this is something where, yeah, you kind of know it should be ending. And the longer you let it perpetuate, you're the one who suffers. Whoever else, somebody else benefits on your suffering. Why? Okay. You seem to be just used to it. And you're just kind of like, well, this is how it's been. This has been this way for the longest time. And I'm like, I'm not really comfortable with the idea of change for some reason. Which I think, I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments, of course. Cancer is usually not a big fan of change. They like things to be stable the way they are, leave them the way they are. I know how to deal with them the way they are. Let's just leave it as it is. I could be wrong, but I mean, let me know in the comments. I'm sure you will. Not usually a big fan of change. But by holding this back, so you have the opportunity for something much better. You got the Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Swords all waiting for you. Something much better is out there, but it's going to take action and communication, and just you have to have complete control, and you have to shut something down. It's hard because staying with it, I'm not comfortable. Leaving it, I'm still not comfortable. It's like going through the transition period, especially if it's like changing, like if it's closing down a relationship, especially that. Kind of like, there's a lot that goes in that. A lot of things change usually. And I'm like, for some reason I'm seeing like married people, which is not the only type of relationship, I know that. But people who are like live together, like let's just leave it at that. I'm seeing a lot of that energy going on. But even if you don't, if you've done things together a long time and you've got a lot of things where you're tied together, it can take a lot of work to kind of untie those things. It's kind of like, that's a lot, and I'm comfortable the way it is, although you're the one who's suffering. I feel like you might be comfortably suffering, kind of like, well, I'm used to this, so I just keep doing it. Because I'm getting the Ten of Swords, like this isn't for you, but you seem to allow it, you have the control, you're allowing it to continue. It's time to go. There is help out there for you, by the way. So I'm getting the safe home protection with the Three of Cups telling me there are people out there who can help you make this change. You just got to start talking about it with the right people, and the change will be a lot easier than expected. But I feel like a lot of you are also in the boat of like, I don't want to start talking about it because once I start talking about it, it's more than likely going to happen. And I'm not comfortable with it. Somebody else is benefiting off of you, and you're the one suffering, is what I keep getting. Take it with a grain of salt. I mean, if it's not for you, it's not for you. I respect that clearly because it's a general read, obviously. If you're able, for those of you this is hitting with though, if you're able to make that change, on the other side of that, you have justice and harmony. Your energy will start coming back to its true brilliance, and things will start going the way they should be going for you. Harmony, justice, there's a lot of help there for you. For some of you, if you're in a relationship where there's legal ties, one way or another, however that is, justice is telling me this will go your way in the long run. It takes a little while, but you'll be happy with the outcome in the long run. Maybe not right away, but it might take a little bit, but it will be there. I mean, as a general read, take it with a huge grain of salt, giant mountain-sized piece of salt. But there's so much better out there for you. There's true fulfillment out there for you. There's the Sun card, the grace, harmony, justice, a lot of good things. And I feel like whatever the situation is that's holding you back, and for example, I said it could be relationship, but it could be a job thing too, where you're like, I'm afraid to leave this position because if I leave this position, I don't know if I'm going to get another one that pays as well or in this area, or there's something about it that you're like, I just don't know. There's a quirk or a piece of it you're like, I don't know if I'm going to get this piece somewhere else. I don't know how I like how that feels. For some of you, maybe it's a job you're like, I make X amount of money, but if I leave this job, I don't see me making that other places. You may have to downsize. Ironically, after you downsize, even though it's less money and you're living in a smaller situation, you may be so much more happier. Like, you know what I mean? If you have 10 cakes and they're all flavors you don't like versus a piece of pie that's your favorite piece of pie, what good are all those cakes? Not for nothing. Can you really eat all those cakes? Like, if you have 3 cakes and you don't like really any of them, or you can have this one piece of pie that's your favorite piece of pie, you might as well have the piece of pie. That's, you know what I'm saying? I know it's really simple, but you know what I'm saying. But I feel like people do that sometimes. They get so excited, like, no, I got to have the cakes, and I'll have cakes to share with other people, and people will like me for the cakes. But in truth, all you really need is that piece of pie. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Whatever you're walking away from, it seems to be blocked, and it seems to be once you walk away from it, it loses a lot of power. It loses a lot. Whatever it is, like if it's a job, for example, I don't see them being able to do anything negative to you after you leave. If it's a person you're leaving, I just don't see them having a lot of power. They just don't seem to have a lot they can do. They seem to be stuck. There's not much they can do. It's a general read, so take it with a grain of salt. I see them also holding their ground, kind of like I didn't do anything wrong, so it's the Cancer's fault. It's not my fault. But once you're gone, whatever it is you were doing for them, they're going to have to do themselves, and if they don't, that's their problem. Once you start moving forward, I feel like this is like a vote of confidence. Once you start moving forward, I just feel this energy kind of like, well, I've gone this far, I'm not going to turn back now. You know what I mean? You got a lot of Pentacle energy backing you up. 4 of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, and that organization, actually, Earth has a very organized way about it. Organization, to me, feels very much like Earth. So I'm getting like, things are going to stabilize, things are going to organize better. It seems like you're going to be very driven, kind of like, well, I've gone this far. I mean, I've gone this far, I've done this much, I might as well keep going, might as well make it to the goal, might as well get to the other side. Once you start it, I feel like it just seems to kind of be one foot in front of the other. Again, in the beginning there where I said you don't maybe want to talk to friends, or you're kind of apprehensive to talk to friends, it's kind of like once I start the conversations up, it's going to start happening. I'm going to start doing something, and before I know it, I'm going to be out of this situation and going towards something else, and it makes you nervous. But again, they're saying you're suffering in this situation. It's not good for you. It's not helpful. You deserve better. But I almost feel like Spirit's saying you can't get better until you go claim better. Once you step up and decide you're going to walk out and go wherever you're going to go, Spirit's like, well, we're behind you on this. We're going to help you do that. But we're not going to force you to do anything. You have to choose to go. When you choose to go, we will back you up. That's what I got. I think we're good. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below with the same email. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.